Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to my other sleeper. I have another group. This is awesome. I love having this village of people who can get together, and the wisdom of many, really, man, our various points of view. It's wonderful, that type of wisdom that we get. So, yeah, I love that. So, as you all know, we have Crystal, then we have Indigo, then we have Mama, and then we have Brian down there. Am I poking the right way for all the right people?
Corner. I'm here all in a corner all by myself. No.
All right. Let's see if I do this. That makes us look like that. Is that better?
But we lose part of.
There's
yeah.
Mama.
Okay.
I got that. Oh, there.
There we go.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah. Okay. Now we can see everybody. And Alfonso's here. He can't see anything. He's blind. So that's okay though. What? Am I
Are
wrong?
you serious?
No, you are.
Yes. I'm serious.
It made me giggle for some reason the way you said it.
Okay.
He is not profoundly blind. He has he's legally blind. So he has very, very, very low vision.
So
He does read with Braille and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
And he can't drive.
and he can't drive. Please don't ask him to drive. That would be detrimental to your health.
A little
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yep. So I'm just going to talk about this one time because, well, it's different and not usual, but it's also not a big deal. I'm not wearing any makeup. There's a reason for that. I have a friend who made a comment to me in person. The other day I talked about putting on my makeup and therefore putting on my mask and getting ready to go on and then being on. And she's like, but Kim, you're so beautiful without your makeup. And I'm like, yeah, I have no problem with me without my makeup. It just is something, it's just a habit. It's just what I do. I put my mask on and I'm ready to go. It's a part of my process. And so I have taken that, my friend, and I am not going to wear makeup except to go to my husband's Christmas party. I'm going to wear makeup for that, but not until after Christmas. So for the next couple of weeks. So yeah, you're going to see au natural. So yeah, like I said, it's not a big deal, but I thought I'd mention it. So yeah. And Mama, I love your lipstick.
Oh.
I'm a big fan of red lips. So yeah.
Well, if I didn't put
Brian?
lipstick on, it would look like I had a hole in my mouth with nothing there.
Brian, your beard looks particularly there.
Well,
So-
what you were saying kind of reminded me of the masks we wear.
Yep.
Of course, it reminded me of Elliot. You know, we all put on a mask to meet the faces that we meet. You know, I can read a lot in my life can refer back to Elliot. But when I was younger, I could not grow facial hair very well, and of course I couldn't have it in the Navy and stuff like that. And
Right.
I never really liked the way I looked unshaven. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And after I got out of the Navy and everything where I could grow facial hair and everything, it was like I'm putting on a mask that makes me feel better about how I look.
And you know what? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I
Yeah.
really don't.
You know, 'cause,
Whatever you have to do to be comfortable in your own skin.
you
right?
know, and yeah, it's just, you know, It's just I sometimes I think about shaving it off, but I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot easier just messing with keeping it like this. But
Yeah.
anyways,
I totally get that. Mama, I'm growing it out.
Are you really,
Tomorrow.
Crystal?
She's throwing it out tomorrow.
Shake. One day I ought to do, right?
I just shaved it again.
Yeah. Crystal shaves it once every 2 or 3 weeks or something like that.
Usually 4 to 6 weeks, somewhere in there.
Okay. Hi, Mary.
Depends on-
Mary's here now.
Depends on how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just need to do it to shave it to make me feel better
Mhm.
and make me feel more like myself.
Mhm. Yeah. It's kind of like when you're feeling sick and you brush your teeth and it helps you feel better. I don't know what it is about brushing your teeth when you feel sick, but once you've brushed your teeth and your mouth feels clean, for me, that helps to make me feel better.
taking
So,
a
yeah.
shower.
I just like soft
Pardon?
things.
Yeah.
Like over the summer, I was wearing a robe, and someone's like, "Is it really that like cold?" I'm like, "No, I feel like bad." So I put my robe on because
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
all like soft and stuff. So
Yeah. Oh, and Mary's saying the more connection, the better, and crocheting doesn't hurt. So that's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
don't got nothing to do with my hands.
your crocheting is right. Did you want me to start it for you again?
No, that's okay.
Okay. It's on your bed.
I'd probably have to rip it out anyways. The tension would be different. Sorry.
Yeah.
I have stuff. I have stuff that I could be working on, but they're smaller items, and I've got 2 fluff balls sitting between my legs. So
Mhm.
you're paralyzed.
Yes,
yeah,
Can't move.
absolutely.
I could still move. It's just to try and find the stuff to work on more slippers right now. I'm packed.
Well, that, and I mean, you're moving soon, right? You don't want to start
Yeah.
more projects before you start, like, for all we know, she could be moving in 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
So, are you
So-
moving to a new residence, Crystal, or away from your town?
I am moving to a government-assisted
A new residence.
apartment. Yeah, I'm
The public
going
housing.
into an apartment. I'm going into an apartment building. I've been in my own trailer that I bought 17 and a half years ago. It's time to. I can't do the upkeep anymore. Even in the summer, I would go outside for 10 minutes this summer, and I would be sneezing and coughing so bad that for the next 3 days, I couldn't stop coughing and sneezing, and that was just I wasn't even touching anything.
Hmm.
And you were
So-
saying also just the sun itself, the rays just are itchy on your skin.
Oh, I know. Yep.
So, yeah.
The
it's
sun
difficult.
makes me so itchy, and I sit there scratching the hide off. I'd rather just not.
Fair.
That's
Very
fair.
fair.
I relate
Yeah.
to that. They told me I would start having sun sensitivity with my medication,
Ah.
and I was
And?
like, yeah, yep. So I have a parasol now. Because I used to take the bus, so I used to have to stand for like 30 minutes to an hour waiting for the
Oh,
bus
for
to
sure.
come. So I would just like use an umbrella, or I would have like a big hat on. I love being outside though. See, the mess up thing is I also have psoriasis, but getting direct vitamin D is supposed to help that not
Yes.
be bad. But then I'm like sensitive to the sun now, so I'm like, gosh darn.
Yeah.
No tanning at the pool for me.
Well, today my eyes are really hurting me. I called and ordered a pizza, and of course the glare off the snow. I should have, when I went to open the door for him, I should have put my sunglasses on, because now my eyes are just hurting so bad because of the glare off the snow. But I wear sunglasses every time I go outside,
Mm-hmm.
this
Yeah.
so that my eyes don't hurt quite so bad.
Your
And
future's so bright, you got to wear shades.
Like, even in the winter, it seems funny to be putting sunglasses on when you go out in
Not
the
at
winter,
all.
but
No.
it's actually brighter in the winter than it is in the summer.
It is,
So
because of
just-
the snow coming off of, sun coming off the snow. And I'm going to point out right over here. Oh, hi, Crystal Phoenix. Mary from Blessed to Crochet is pointing out several recipes for the cookie connection that we've been doing. And she's had, everybody has given her, I've given her a fudge recipe, a cake recipe, and a cookie recipe, and a different cookie recipe. So, I mean, like, just, it doesn't have to be cookies, but a Christmas treat kind of thing. And then you give a favorite Christmas song that goes along with it. And then she makes just a little a short video, and it has the recipe and the method. And then while you're watching the short, she's playing the song on there. So go to Blessed to Crochet, watch those shorts. They are, so sweet. The stories behind doing all of these cookies, etc. So what I will do is I'll say on there, okay, so the first time I had these cookies, for example, the snowballs were at my husband's family's place when he and I started dating, and I just absolutely fell in love with them. And they're just little cream cheese and sugar and dried coconut, and you can you can roll it in dried coconut, or you can roll it in crushed up almonds or walnuts or whatever, if you want to have like snowballs with rocks in them or something like that. They're quite delicious. So,
Kimberly,
anyway,
can you please,
yes, Mother.
Kim, can you tell me where I go to that again, please? Let's say it slowly.
When you
you're talking to.
Blessed to Crochet.
Blessed, BLESSED.
Yep, and then the number 2.
Okay.
Crochet.
Okay.
Yep, and that's her YouTube channel.
Okay.
And so Mary, and that's my friend Mary, who's on with me on occasion.
I've seen Mary lots.
Yes, you have. That's her. So yeah, she's done a lot of work, and and these connections that we're making kind of segue nicely into what we're talking about right now. Christmas, these connections that we're making this year, I have found them very meaningful. Meeting all of you folks online, being able to blend my online family and my family and all of that kind of stuff. I am just so fortunate. Seeing Mama's Christmas tree right behind her is so pretty. And then looking at her old Christmas tree in my living room is also very pretty.
I'm glad you have it up, Kimmy.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You used my wedding picture. For the snowballs recipe. Interesting. Okay. Wow. I guess, I do have that out there, don't I? Anyway, but for Christmas, Christmas can be difficult. And each of us who are represented here on this panel today, we've all had things that have made Christmases absolutely terrible in the past. And we've all survived, and over time, we've thrived. And I would love to be able to talk to you about the Christmas season. This season of time can be so difficult for a lot of people. A lot of people end up ending their own lives during this period of time because it is so stressful. Mm-hmm. They don't have the village that we have. They don't have this community connection that we have developed over this, just even these past few months. and will be continuing on for a very long time, I'm certain. So, Crystal, why don't we start with you? Because you're right there. And let's start with, what is your number one key? And then we'll just stick with one, okay? What's your number one suggestion for getting through a Christmas season that has been specifically difficult? So picture one in your mind that happened, and what did you do to get through it with your sanity generally intact? Generally.
Well, for the last number of years, the way I've gotten through any holiday, but specifically Christmas, is to just pretend it's another day. It's about all I could do. Yeah, sure, I'd watch Christmas videos all day, and I did a couple of our family's traditions, but for the most part, I had to just pretend it was just another day off. So it didn't hurt so much.
Yeah. All right, Indigo, how about yourself?
I just try to do things that make me happy.
Like what?
Like, so I'll go down and stay with my parents because I've got some friends who live around there, and then I can meet up with them and kind of just have fun. Because it's more about the time I'm spending with people and less about the things.
Yeah.
Like, the older I get, I'm like, I'd prefer people to just get me what I need rather than just guess what I want. You know what I mean? But I think I also had to separate whatever happened from the holiday itself, which for me, it's like October is the worst month for me, honestly. Because it's the month, like October into November, whereas when like all my mom's siblings would have their birthdays and stuff, and they're all gone now. So,
Oh no.
but I just try to make my own traditions, like which is between like me and friends as well, just to have variety. Like, I don't do the same thing every year. I kind of switch off. This year my family got to me first. Last year my friends got to me first.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go down to Mama. Think about one year that was difficult, and what did you do to get through it?
I'm probably the most pragmatic person you'll ever meet. And you do what you have to do. And I believe that if you do celebrate this event, this Christmas, if that's part of your life, it can be the best or the worst time of year. And I totally agree. People take their lives at this time of year. And what makes it so difficult? What is it about Christmas or this particular holiday that does this to us? And I think it's because it's inbred in us from childhood. If you are from a religious background, that you celebrate Christmas. Now, I'm not sure what happens for the Jewish community or the Muslim community, because I don't know. I don't know what happens there and how they get through Christmas. I mean, they're inundated with Christmas, and little kids have to go through all of this time where everybody's getting new presents, and how come we're not getting anything new, or it's just different like that. But I think it starts at childhood, and it starts in childhood with fantasy. And that fantasy, even if there is a Christ-related center in your family, there's still fantasy. The fantasy is the Christmas tree, lights outside. You like to go for drives outside. And so fantasy can start. I can tell you this little story. When I was 6 years old, and Kim knows it well, my father shot Santa Claus with a double-barrel shotgun. And I remember we were coming home from a neighbor's place, and my dad and the neighbor's dad, they were both had imbibed. And anyway, they thought it was the funniest thing if my dad, he brought his double barrel shotgun and he put it up into the sky and he says, "There's that fat son of a again this he's not going to wreck my roof again this year." And off went the double barrel shotgun. And I thought he shot. I mean, what a thing to do to a kid that's sick. Anyway, my mom saying, "Oh, Jim, for Pete's sake," and but it never hit me. It never stuck with me mentally. It's just that when I think back now, it's funny. It's a funny story to tell. But I chose maybe to not think. Of course, my mom was there to assure me that Santa's not shot. But Santa didn't come to our house with a whole lot of stuff anyway. So I'm the youngest of four boys. I'm the only girl with four older brothers. So Christmas gifts that came to my house were mostly male intended. And so not a lot of guys in those days played with dolls and got away with it. And so it would be, we just didn't get stuff at Christmas. So that didn't make up my Christmas. Christmas for me was snow. Even in those days, I knew that there was baby Jesus, and I know we sang carols and Away in a Manger, but my view of Christmas was different. This was the only time of the year that we would have very, very special baking. So that meant a special Christmas. As I got older, Christmas still meant snow because I had never, in my recollection, gone through Christmas without snow, but that's because I wasn't centered on the meaning of Christmas. And like I say, even if Christ was there in your home, it didn't mean that it was always celebrated, right? So then, as I grew older, different things happened. As I married, Christmas meant trauma in that there was a drunk husband. A drunk husband. There were family fights, not particularly in my house, but if the family got together, which we often did, there were family fights. It wasn't smooth. There was jealousy. There was just everything when a big family gets together that happens. So pragmatically, you do what you have to do. So you are going to choose if you're going to hide in a bedroom so you don't hear your parents fight, or if you're going to hide in a bedroom to stay safe, or if you're going to hide in a bedroom so you don't get beat up. Or now, none of that stuff happened to me, but there are people that happens to, and it isn't fun. So if we are going to make Christmas Day all about memories, we are in big trouble. Memories can't make Christmas. Christmas is here for you right now. So I'm wondering, how much choice do we have on how we spend Christmas? For Crystal, it sounds like she's always alone. And I'm not sure if it's always the way it is, but it does sound it. She's got a roof over her head. She's got some kitties that she adores, and she's warm, and she has the hope now of moving into someplace better. Isn't that an exciting thing for Christmas this year? So if we're going to keep going on to memories, then it could be very, very tough. That's what I think.
Okay. Thank you, Mama. Brian, tell us one of your coping skills that you have learned through a particularly difficult time.
Well, like Crystal mentioned, seeing it as just another day, because it's just what it is. It's a 24-hour period. Then at one point in history, someone said, okay, let's assign it this meaning so we can convert these people because, people like to have their festivals. I can become interested in the history of stuff. It helps rationalize things for me, because
Mhm.
the commercial like mom was mentioning the memories of this
Mhm.
time of year can be a double-edged sword. I had good memories, bad memories. Tragic crap happened during Christmas a lot of the times. My ex-wife, she loved this time of year because when she gets stuff and always go out with the all out with the decorations and all that stuff, and I just can't stand it. So in my own personal life, I don't do Christmas here at my house. It's just me, me and the dogs. These days, it's me and my few handful of friends getting together and just chilling, and my friend John, he's going all out this year for us and stuff. So we're supposed to have a little get together and just chill and do a little this, that, and the other and have fun.
Nice.
That, that
Okay.
that's what it is. It's just being with friends, family, whether it's chosen family, or it's this that, because this time of year, for whatever reason, most like it's like it's the time of year where you can see visibly in the sky the change coming, that it's anticipating this day start getting longer, spring's
Mhm.
coming, and it's just and how we are as a species about patterns recognition and all that other stuff, that it makes sense that we would ascribe it a very, very special meaning. Things are being renewed soon. Spring will be here, and we've and stuff. So it's no wonder that different faiths and different peoples have kind of assigned a significance to this period of time, this time of the year.
Mhm. Yeah. I can't disagree with anybody here. So far, memories are a lot of what make
Yeah.
Christmas special. The feeling of nostalgia in some cases,
Mhm.
but then again, the feeling of nostalgia in my family when I was growing up, like Mama said, wasn't all that good. There was a lot of stress in my family when I was very little growing up, but at the same time, we still did have the Christmas tree. We still did have our our stockings with an orange in the toe. We still had all of these different things. As children, our parents really tried to shield us from a lot of that.
Yes.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
that was a big part of ours. But one particular Christmas I can remember. I have so many Christmas memories. I'm very, very fortunate to have a lot of really good Christmas memories. Um, but the year that my stepdad died, 2017, that was hard. He died in October. And so Christmas was the next big, big thing. And so instead of doing Christmas, like my family always went to my mom's house for Christmas, and that was our tradition. And so this time we brought our pasta maker and we made fresh pasta and had a meal that way and had a special meal. It was wonderful, but it was completely different from the traditional, than that was. So that's where we really took a break from it. That was our one big, big break from tradition. And that's what we needed to do to kind of heal for that year. And then after that, it was all kind of back to normal. But that year we needed that break from the old traditions.
If I could just interrupt here, Kim,
Certainly. Yeah.
Bob, my husband, in 2019, 2019, he lost his wife on December 20th. So it's the shock. It's that first of anything, right? That you have to go through. If there's a first that, like Brian, if there was a first that for you that you were on your own at Christmas, or it's those firsts that are really, really tough. And then if you're able, get back on the horse and so to speak.
Yeah.
And you're never going to forget these things ever. That doesn't mean you're going to forget them, but it's going to be a little different, isn't it? Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is one thing that you do to purposefully make this a less difficult season for yourself? Like Crystal was saying, she's generally alone. So this year, what are you able to do differently this year?
It's almost like there's subliminal messaging here.
I have no idea of what you speak. No, but in
Crystal,
general,
your
as
bed is
the
red
whole
too.
Christmas season goes, like not necessarily Christmas Day, because yeah, that's going to be awesome. But as the Christmas season goes, you're watching all of these families do all of these things. What do you do to help yourself get through that? And hi, Saphira Pseudonym.
Well, this year is going to be different because I actually get to spend all of Christmas with a family, my chosen family. And so it's kind of put the good back into what Christmas is about.
Nice.
I get to be with this family for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year, or Boxing Day.
5 days,
Yeah,
right?
I go home on the Saturday.
28.
I come on the Tuesday and I leave the Saturday morning.
That's 5 days.
And just to be able to spend the holidays with people who understand me and have seen the tears, have seen my altar, and are okay with those. It feels safe. And that has made me look forward to Christmas again. I used to love Christmas. It used to be my favorite time of the year because of all the lights and everything else. So yeah, it's kind of nice to be able to have that again for a change. And
Okay.
so
Indigo, how about yourself? How are you going to prepare yourself? I know, right? Big hugs.
thanks.
How are you preparing yourself for Christmas in a difficult season?
Well, so I have friends who now have people around them to do stuff with, but
Mm-hmm.
we're all kind of going through some kind of thing this year. I don't know. It's just, like the more that I do stuff. So I'm a Christian pagan. So the short of the long of it is that I grew up Lutheran Presbyterian. It brought a lot to my life. I have like good spiritual mentors. And then as I kind of grew into my own person and had like my NDEs and like other spiritual experiences where I couldn't ignore them, like they were so real. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
me and my friend started a group a couple years ago for our spiritual pagan studies. So we kind of do a mixture of Christmas and Yule and kind of like blend a lot of traditions. So I started doing something where I try to give people space to just be where they're at. Like I have a
Mhm.
friend who loves Christmas music. Like if she could play Christmas music like every day till she died, she would play it. And I have one friend who's like, if I hear a single Christmas song before December 1st, I am gonna flip out. So I'm like, okay, how about you two
Movies.
don't party to like for
Yeah.
because she'll start with like the decorations and everything. Like as soon as Halloween is over, she's like ready to go. So I kind of just take people where they are and see, check in with them too and be like, to me, Christmas isn't about like Santa or I mean, I guess it is actually about Jesus if you're Christian, but I was gonna say like it's about the feeling of belonging somewhere. So I just try to offer that to people any way I can. And I started a tradition right before lockdown where I went through all my old books, and it's based off of in World War II. The only thing that wasn't rationed in Scandinavia was books. And
Oh.
so they would just buy
Mhm.
books, trade them on Christmas Eve, and spend the entire day reading. And I was
With
like,
hot
well,
chocolate.
with hot
With hot
chocolate. Yeah.
chocolate.
So I like wrap all the books starting in like June and mail them to everyone so that they have to like anticipate opening them on Christmas Eve. So the rule is they just have to wait till Christmas Eve to open it. I mainly started mailing early because I have people in other countries. So
Are you from
actually,
Canada?
no, I'm from the
Oh,
US.
oh, well, that's okay, because here it'd
But
be a
I've
good
got
thing if you mailed them early.
I didn't. I kind of I tried to mail something recently, and the US is supporting the strike, so they're not taking any packages
Oh,
for Canada right now.
mm,
But yeah, so we do that, and then some of my friends will also send me a book. So we kind of just think of each other all year, right? Like just a, I thought of you when I saw this, and we'll like send it to each other. And that kind of says like no matter where you're at, you know that you're not alone. Like somebody always has you on their mind. Because I think that isolation that you feel, especially with loss, guys, like grief is a many-headed
Oh yeah.
beast, and it lasts a lifetime. Like,
yes, yes.
and
Oh
so
Lord.
it does it. So I try
Mm,
to remember to once I get them made, I'm gonna start a tradition where I'm gonna get myself a tiny Christmas tree,
mm,
so I don't have to pack up a large one. But basically, I'm gonna make these ornaments in memory of people that I've lost, and start hanging them on my tree in October because the 31st of October is the pagan New Year, and the Christmas is Christmas, right? It's like you're gonna wake up in whatever 5 days, and it's gonna be the new year. So I kind of have two New Years that I celebrate every year, which is kind of fun.
Nice.
mm.
Okay. What about you, Mama? What are you doing to prepare yourself through this particular Christmas season?
Well, Kim, you know me.
Yeah, I do. We've met.
Christmas for me is smells. If I want to have a memory for Christmas, uh, the, and this is so much older than all of you, everyone here would even recognize. But for some reason, the smell of freshly waxed floors brought a memory to me. Because in the olden days, and now I have to. This is a very funny thing because when I hear people decorating in mid-century modern, I have to go to bed because that's when I grew up, and it makes me feel so old when I hear mid-century modern is the '60s. Well, that's me growing up, and
No, that
but
wasn't you
in
growing up. That was you having babies.
not in the '60s.
Not quite.
Well,
Well,
69.
not but
Yeah.
50s. I was born in 1947. So when I was 10, 57, that's getting pretty up there. But we didn't have carpet. We didn't have carpeting. We had either you had wooden floors or like hardwood floors or linoleum. And and it's not like my mom didn't do floors through the rest of the year, but for some reason it was the preparation, and the preparation for Christmas always had freshly waxed floors, and the smell of it was wonderful. Slippery as heck, but really wonderful. And I'm not telling
Jim, what?
Get that buffer out.
Oh dear. And so
Oh, yeah.
and so anyway, that's what. So when I prepare for Christmas, Christmas for me is all around Christ. It really is now, but it took years to get there. It wasn't something that preparing my children for it was we certainly made room. We made room for Jesus. Not like there was never toys or snow or snowmen or all of these wonderful things, lights, but we always made room for Jesus. And right now, I laugh when you say, Indigo, that Christmas music. Well, Christmas, like November 1st on Sirius XM or Sirius Radio in the car, you can get Christmas music. And so and November 1st, Hallmark movies come on too, Christmas movies. So I've got a whole bunch of Christmas movies recorded, but by the time November 14th comes along, I'm kind of sick of Christmas movies. So I'm pretty much finished with Christmas movies. And Brian, I can see this doesn't interest you at all, these Hallmark movies.
The Hallmark movies. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Oh my lord.
Okay, I'm going to defend Hallmark movies there for a moment.
Well,
my husband actually really likes them.
Well, I got sick of them because my ex,
She ruined a
like
lot
I
of
said,
things for you.
she loves Christmas. Christmas is her favorite time of the year. Anything to do with Christmas, and she'd watch them in July when they come out on Hallmark.
Oh yeah.
They run, even though she's seen the same ones 5 freaking years in a damn row. And November all the way through, all the cheesy ones. Some of them are good, most of them suck. So this time of year, I kind of knew that Santa was BS when I was 5 because I saw my mom putting my mom and everybody bringing up. I remember sleeping on the couch, and I remember them bringing in presents. We were poor, so couldn't even afford freaking wrapping paper. They were wrapped in newspaper.
There you go.
But I got my Lincoln Logs that year. But despite everything, my mom always made sure. And you guys know I have all kinds of issues when it comes to that woman. She always made sure we had something, and especially growing up. And when my sister came along, it was doubly because of what we had to sacrifice and everything. I became the wrapping person, so it's like I try not to do anything this time of year because I'd already done it in various phases of my life. And like I said, same old stuff, different freaking day.
Yeah.
And I'll help out here or there. I know my buddy John, who's basically that's who I've spent Christmas with the majority of the last decade. Since I moved back here. I'll help him with his stuff. Most likely during the day of, I'll cook or do whatever and stuff. It's just a way to be with your buddies and just chill.
Yep.
So,
for
but
me,
the movie,
Christmas is sorry.
And we will watch Die Hard.
Yes,
That's
you will.
That's my favorite.
Although
Christmas movie.
last year we watched, because last year it was last year or the year before. I think it was last year. We watched the best Big Bang Theory Christmas episodes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they got some good ones, you know. Or, you know, you can also do it with Friends. That's got the Friends Christmas episodes, but yeah, we might do something like that too. Of course, my favorite one is Batman the Animated Series, Christmas with the Joker, hands down.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. For me, Christmas is anything to do with people. Just I love giving gifts. So throughout the year, I buy presents for people all year round. And this year, like last Christmas, my daughter's like, Mom, you got to quit getting me all these stocking stuffers. I'm like, yeah, but I buy them all year. She's like, okay, fine. Get me gifts all year, but put them into something, and that will be my advent calendar. So that's what we're doing. So she gets a small gift every day. She gets to use her Taekwondo punch to get into the bucket. And so she's getting something every day. And that's a way that I can make this amazing connection with my daughter. Just a special little treat. It may cost $2. It may cost $15. It may cost, whatever. But it's just this little thing. So anything I can do to make somebody else happy, I really love doing that. I love that.
Tell about a memory, Kimberly, at an airport.
Oh, you want me to go there? That's my absolute. That's my favorite Christmas.
Yeah, and when you get a good Christmas, that's a good one.
Yep. Oh, hi, Barbie. Barbie's birthday's on the 23rd. Oh my goodness. Okay. So this particular Christmas that Mom's talking about, we lived in a teeny weeny town in northern Alberta. And one of the jobs my dad had was as the security officer at the local airport. And so we were home. It was Christmas Day. And Mom was praying at the meal. And she said, God, if there's anybody we could reach out to, please put them on our hearts so that we can, yada, yada, yada. And she said, amen.
I didn't say yada, yada, yada.
She did not say yada, yada, yada. That's so not holy. Anyway. So Dad says to her, I wish you would have prayed that at lunch, because we'd have had a couple extra guys for supper tonight. And so we found out what happened. Well, these two British men were in a layover in this little itty bitty yuck airport. Weren't they snowed in or something like that? Their flight couldn't go?
There was only 2 flights out, one in and one out. One in 8 a.m. and one out at midnight or something.
Right, something like that. So they were stuck Christmas Day in this tiny little airport, and I'm like, well. So Mom, she's like, okay, we got to get her done. So we packed up all of our leftovers, the leftover turkey, stuffing, cranberries, everything else. I made sure that we had those little Christmas cracker thingies with the hats and all that stuff. And my dad and the tablecloth. Yes, you have to have a tablecloth. Did we take nice dishes too? I don't remember. Yes, we took nice dishes too. Okay. So we just made this spread for these guys. And my dad, my sister, and myself were there with these men. And to see the look of wonder on their faces that any stranger would even think of doing something like this. And I made them wear those little hats from the Christmas crackers. Like they were, I was 10? Something like that. But that is my 100% favorite Christmas is.
Yeah.
This is my sister. I got to duck out.
All right.
See you, Brian.
See you.
Bye, Brian.
Bye.
See you, Brian, sister. Okay. So that was my 100% favorite Christmas memory ever. And that, I think, is what really started me in if I can do something for somebody else, I feel really good. But it's not like I want to do something for you so I can feel good. It's I want to do something for you that you need, right? Not just to be this oh, let me push you into the traffic so I can save you. There are people who would do that. You know,
Part of that story from our home part of it is that we were at a school where everybody left at Christmas. All of the students left at Christmas. So there might have been 3 families in the whole campus that were home. So we really were alone at Christmas, and we were all kind of glum, and we still tried to make the best of everything. But the fact that we could do this, I didn't go on this little excursion with them, but when Kim came home, she said, Mama, and they drank wine. That was as worldly as Kim could ever see, was someone drinking wine at Christmas.
come on, going to the theater was sinful.
Pardon?
You know, going to the theater was sinful. Listening to the radio, now that was really of the devil. So yeah.
Well, not quite in our home, but anyway, the thing is, the joy that we got for doing something for someone else was cemented in all of our lives. And I don't think there will be a Christmas that will ever go by again that we're not blessed with that memory.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a totally core memory for me. So anytime I can do something for somebody else, that's how I get through the Christmas season, even when it's difficult. You know, what can I do for somebody else? So this coming Christmas, is there anything that you're going to do that's different in order to make it better for you? What do you think? Let's start with Indigo this time. Oh, there she is. Yeah.
I'm not really. I kind of just try to have quality time with people. And like the older I get, the more I'm like, Christmas is great when you're a kid because you're growing and you get new stuff. Like it's kind of like everything goes on sale, so it coincides with the holiday, right? But it's more about just spending time with the people I care about, because I would say like 2022 was a hard year because my dad had a stroke. We found out my niece has her genetic condition, and then I got my cancer diagnosis all in the same year.
Wow.
And so I just try to get people one gift that they will use. Like my dad still talks about, okay, so like he always makes tea, and he would always put the tea bag on a spoon and then like squish the water out and like do all this stuff. And I'm like, you know what I saw on Amazon? Tea tongs that are essentially the same thing but way easier than the way he was doing it. And he still has those like 9 years later, the same one, because my dad is a taker-carer. We also like helped my family clean out one of their rooms, because when I moved out, they moved into the room I was living in, and then they converted their master bedroom into a living room, because where they had the TV before became the dining room. So we found out that my dad has also kept every single card or hand-drawn note we ever made him since we were children.
I don't know anyone who would ever do that.
I don't know.
And so, but to me, that means like it's not about the things, right? It's about the heart of it. And if you can find something to love about it, even though like, okay, because you were saying the first of like after you lose someone, it's like the first everything.
Yeah. It's the hardest.
It is the hardest, but I've had spiritual experiences with spirits. And I will say, I guess, if you have a moment where something seems strange, like for example, my roommate's grandmother passed away last year, and over that first summer, we had a hummingbird, which I had never seen the mythical hummingbirds around my old apartment. People said they were there. There were feeders. Never seen one, and we lived on the second floor. A hummingbird literally hovered at eye level of our couch, looking at my roommate
Oh,
for
wow.
3 minutes. 3 minutes. And I'm like, that's really strange. It went away. A day later, at the same time, it came back. And I'm like, that is your grandmother.
Hmm.
I have never, ever seen a hummingbird
Mm-hmm.
do this in my entire life. And then it happened like a few more times and then didn't happen again. But there's signs, and like just because their physical body is gone, and it hurts to remember because I feel like the holidays, you're aware they're not there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't aware of this until I grew older, but like when we would have Christmas, people would always sit in the same spot in the living room. I now can't. I used to sit on the floor surrounded by all my presents, but now I can't do that anymore. My hip doesn't like it. But it's like the tiny stuff, like, you know, the slippers someone would put on before they made their tea in the morning are still there, but they're not making the tea. It becomes much more glaring on the holidays.
Yeah.
And just let yourself live in the moment. If you feel sad or like for a moment you don't feel joyful, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Take that moment, because if you don't and you try to bottle that away, that's not how grief works. Like it's gonna come out, you know. So that's what I remind my mom of too, because she lost all her siblings before I turned 30, which means they died in the same decade. And so I honestly don't, because she would always say like, I just can't get the energy to wrap presents. I'm like, you're sad.
Yeah.
And she loves
Yeah.
wrapping. Like if she didn't have to do it quickly at the store, she would
Mhm.
love to work part-time as like a present wrapper. Like she'll even be like, no, you got to do the edges like this, so they're like all crisp and the bow is all like this. And so like I just let her have those tiny joys of like how she does things, because I
Mhm.
think that's the thing, is finding tiny joys that build up over time.
Yeah.
So I try to create that
Absolutely.
for other people too. So
Oh, that's excellent.
Mhm.
Oh, that's excellent. And I love your idea that you had a little bit ago about having a small tree and making memorial ornaments for people throughout your life that who
Yeah.
you've known. I think that's a
Mhm.
wonderful tradition as well. It's very
yeah.
people centric, which is
Yeah.
very
And that
you.
yeah, and not some of them are going to be in memory because people aren't here anymore, but then it's like if you're low on money, like a great thing you can do with your friends is go to Michael's, because they'll have like plastic ornaments
Mm-hmm.
and paint and stuff on severe discount,
Mm-hmm.
and you can just like make ornaments.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you
Yeah.
have something that not only was the making of it fun that you did with everyone, but now you can always have it on your tree, you know, as like you said, like a positive reminder.
Absolutely. Yes. Mama, how about you? What are you doing in particular this year to make Christmas special?
Well, we have a wee grandson who is going to be, he turned 1 in October. So really, this is going to be his first Christmas. And so we're going out to your stepbrother's place for Christmas. And uh, Bob's son's wife's family is going to be. Excuse me, my clock. I hope you don't hear it too loud, but
We
it's
can't hear it.
going on. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, so her family is going to be there too, and this is going to be the first Christmas that we will spend Christmas Day with Bob's son and his family. So we're really looking forward to that. And so and I don't have to cook anything. Like I don't do the cooking.
You might
This
want to
is
mention his son's trade.
Well, that's true. He's a chef. He is, I think they're
Like
called
a
red letter
legit Red
chef.
Seal chef.
Red Seal, yes. So he does that. And so this year, away from tradition, if this is what is he indeed going to do, we're going to have seafood. Seafood for Christmas. Isn't that interesting? I don't know what it is, but he makes and they're always just plated to perfection. And so I'm looking forward to that. Then on the 27th, my son Bill and his wife Bev are coming they're coming to Kelowna, which is close to me. And then they are going to leave Kelowna on the 27th and spending a couple of days with us. So that's very, very exciting. And so what am I doing to prepare for Christmas? I made Christmas cake. I haven't made Christmas cake for a long, long time. People in your generation don't usually like it, but people in my generation love it. And so we're having that. We're
Is that
having,
like a fruit cake?
yes.
I love it.
Do
Are you
you?
making Nana's cake, Mom?
Dad always got us Collins Street Bakery fruit cakes for Christmas.
Oh, well, this year it turned out
Nice.
very, very well, Indigo. And so I have to say I have at least one slice a day. And anyway, it's really, really good. And so preparing for that, my Christmas, I just was looking now at the temperature that it's going to be for Kim is. And Crystal, are you going to Kim's for Christmas? You
Yes.
rotten thing, you. I'm so glad you are. I'm so glad. Anyway, I'm looking at the long range forecast. And so, Indigo, do you have snow where you are?
Not yet, but it's really cold out.
Okay, yeah, I know.
We were supposed to get it we were supposed to have the clouds came in and the sky was all dark and I
yes.
was in pain, but there was
Oh,
nothing on the ground. I'm like, come on, give me a payout. If you're
yeah,
gonna make me be in pain, like give me
yeah,
the payout, Mother Nature.
totally.
Come on. Give me that
That's
snow.
right. Who's in control here of this weather stuff? That's right.
That's
Exactly.
right. Who do I
Well,
have to talk to?
I know I'll phone them for you. So,
Don't make me call.
so where Kim is, it's going to be, I don't know if you've looked at the weather forecast as to what it's going to be, but on my phone, it says it's going to be -5 and it's going to snow on the 24th and 25th. Crystal, what day are you leaving your place?
I travel on the 24th.
24th. Well, then, we'll leave early in the morning because it's a 60% chance. And so there's going to be more snow that day. But so leave early. Make sure you take an emergency kit in your car.
You'll have
because
to
that's
email her
important.
the list of what you have to put in it.
Yes. No, she's going to email me the list as to what she's putting in it. And then,
You've
so
gained a
it's
Crystal,
mother.
how does it
I'm just
feel
saying.
to have a new mom?
That's right.
Well,
No, this is a good mom. You can share this one.
Yeah.
I'm used to sharing her.
I don't even call my stepmom mom.
No, that's because it's your stepmom. You don't have to call her mom. Just anyway.
It's anyway. This one is caring, and you can call me Mama any day of the week that you want to, if you want to, and so can you, Indigo. So anyway, Christmas is going to
Fourth
be
mom.
Pardon?
I said yes, a fourth mom.
A fourth mom. Well, aren't you
I was
amazing?
adopted. So I had two moms, and then I had another friend of mine who was like, "You're basically my sister." And then her mom was like, "I'm gonna proceed you to awkwardly buy you Christmas presents every year," and I'm like, "All right."
That's wonderful. Well,
Yep.
I'm a mom in spirit. Anyway, it's going to be -5 at your place, Kim and Crystal. It's going to be +3 here, I think, and I don't think we're going to have snow. So it really doesn't look like snow is going to be in the forecast future. So Kim, if you know where Indigo lives, you could text me because I can keep track of where I would. It's not like I would. What's that word? It's not like I would. Where are you looking when you're spying on someone all the time?
It's fine.
Stalking.
Stalking. It's not like I would stalk you, Indigo, but I don't want you to say online here where you are.
Yeah.
So I just would. It would be interesting. Do you know what you're going to have for weather for Christmas?
Not yet. Probably cold. maybe snow. We'll see.
Okay, let's define cold here, Indigo.
Oh,
Today,
well, 2 days ago, our high was 5 degrees.
Okay.
Fahrenheit, right?
today,
Yeah.
our like in degrees Celsius this morning, it was minus 29. I checked that the equivalent in degrees Fahrenheit is minus 21.
So it's 21
that's-
below.
Yeah, so we're having like this horrible yin yang weather where it was like 50 degrees. It was like 5 degrees high on last Thursday, and then it was 50 degrees on Sunday, and then it's like
Yeah.
cold the last 2 days.
Yeah.
And my nerves like cannot
Uh-huh.
handle it. Like I don't
Yeah.
my pain management went out the freaking window because I had to go to work the last 2 days. And I told
Oh,
work,
yeah.
I'm like, I'm going home early Wednesday. Like I'll get all the mail done, but I can't like
Hmm.
and it's not just cold, it's wind. Like the wind just takes
Mhm,
it out.
mhm.
Takes it out.
Yeah. Absolutely. The wind is what kills you.
Like I want to go
Like
see the
any-
Christmas
just-
lights at like the gardens and the zoo and stuff, but the freaking wind kills me.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll have to
This
break
is-
out my wheelchair and my fuzzy blankets and have someone just push me around. Be like,
Indigo,
nice.
Indigo, where you live, do they count wind chill?
oh yeah.
See, now when I
So
grew
they
up,
go. So they go. Oh, it's a high of 5 degrees with gale force winds, so it's gonna feel like negative XYZ.
yeah. So
Yeah.
when I grew up, we didn't ever even know the word wind chilled. It was just, boy, it feels like that wind's going to go right through you. Then we
And
know
it
it's cold.
We actually have the Doppler radar system like
Yeah.
down the highway from where I live in
Okay.
Chicago. So it's always spinning out all
Mhm.
that stuff.
Indigo, I don't know anything about you at all, and it's not that I need to know, but you did mention cancer. Is this something that you have walked through? Are you still walking through this?
Well, I had my surgery last year in February. Wait, it's
Okay.
2024, right?
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, sorry, lockdown like made me skip a year in my brain. So I always
yeah.
have to ask what year it is. So yeah, so I got diagnosed at the end of 2022 with thyroid cancer.
Oh,
And then they operated on it in February of 2023.
okay.
But so I'm in the aftermath.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm still getting poked, prodded, scanned, yelled at for not I'm like, I could do an earlier appointment if you weren't booked till next February, but like
Yeah.
you're booked till next September, so it's not my fault I can't come in earlier. You don't have the space.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's every 6 months they got to do the tests and everything to check levels for medications and all that fun stuff. So,
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're seeing this side of it now, and
yes.
that's
I
really
was
good for you,
It was a
sweetie.
6-year battle for first 6 years doctors just were like, you're
Mm.
exaggerating and seeking attention, and I'm like,
Mm.
my throat's
Oh.
swelling up and something's wrong, guys. And then I got a new doctor, and within one visit she's like, I'm sending you to the endocrine surgeon. Like, we're not even going to mess around with unless the surgeon orders any imaging. We're not even going to mess around with like all the imaging and blood tests. We're just going to send you there. Well, they
Yeah.
said if I almost gave up too, like in 2021, I was like, oh, if they're not going to listen to me, I might as well just stop caring. And they're like, well, it's good that you didn't because we caught it right before it spread. It was
Oh,
so
wow.
close to spreading. It was like,
Oh,
if I had waited
wow.
any longer, it would have been like to my lymph nodes. So it's
Oh,
been a journey.
it has
Yeah.
been, Indigo. So you don't just count Christmas as special, you count
Mm-mm.
every day as special, don't you?
I do. Well, I have ever since I got in a car accident in my 20s where I had a near-death experience.
Oh, dear.
And the end of that was me deciding that I still had some good work to do, and I,
Mhm.
didn't
Yeah.
want to pass away. So yeah, so after that and the cancer, like I just focus on basically like when Marie Kondo came out about like, oh, when you're cleaning your house, just get rid of what doesn't make you happy. I'm like, I do that with everything, people, like physical things, hobbies. Like, I'm like, if this doesn't make me happy anymore, I'll find something else.
Yep.
Because that's what it is like, even if you're sad on the holidays, moments where you can find happiness, don't feel guilt
Yes.
for that. Because no one
Yes.
No.
talks about how guilty you feel when you're grieving, that you have moments where you're laughing and you're not thinking about it and you're kind of like moving forward.
Yes. Yes.
So that's the important thing, is if you find joy, let yourself have that, because grief is heavy no matter which way you look at it.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And sometimes grief is like an interruption in our life. And we interruptions is what can mess us up. But once the interruption is there, we need to step over that. And it's just an interruption. The word interruption is just a little thing there that stops you from doing what you're doing. And so you're happy one day, and then a mound of grief is put on you, and it's not like you're ever going to forget that grief, but it is an interruption. And what makes me think of the word interruption is that Joseph in the Bible went through so much interruption. Like, when you think of it, he was, well, we really don't know how old Joseph was in the Bible, but we know that he had plans, that actually his parents and Mary's parents had a plan that these two would meet and they were going to be married. So they were betrothed to one another. But in that time, Joseph would have been building a house onto his father's house. And that's what happened. He would build this house. And so he had all these plans. And then Mary caused this little interruption where she said, well, I'm pregnant, excuse me, but it isn't by a man, by the Holy Spirit. And so that had to have been a pretty big interruption. And as a matter of fact, Joseph didn't even get over it until an angel came and said, it's okay, Joseph. But that interruption caused him to rethink everything. He had to rethink of what's going to happen to Mary. He had to rethink what's going to happen to he wanted to protect her because she could have been stoned to death. And so he had that interruption. And then after, and we know that he took Mary and went to live in another place away from his father, because each household had this tax thing that they had to go register. And so he had his own household, not the household of his father, but the house of himself. And so they had to leave. Well, that was kind of an interruption too, that, my goodness. And it wasn't even in December it happened, actually. It was probably March. It wasn't. And I don't know why we're so fixated on snow for Christmas, because there would have been no snow in Bethlehem. Cold, but probably no snow. And then there was that interruption. And then when it was time to leave, he had another interruption where, my goodness, he had to go to Egypt. And like, the whole thing is interruptions. So, but you get through these interruptions. Like Indigo, you had an interruption with your health. Crystal, you had an interruption with your happiness and your self-worth, but you are worthy. Kim had many interruptions. She's had interruptions all through her life. So have I had interruptions, but they're an interruption. We're going to just go through it, right? And here it is. This little group is going to go through it together. And I wish Brian was there, because he has a sister who cared enough about him to give him a call today. And that was, so he was interrupted from this little time. And so these are interruptions that we can think about. It isn't just something that is there all the time. It's an interruption.
Yep.
I like that. Yeah.
Crystal, have I asked you what you're up to for this year?
Yeah, I'm coming to your place.
Coming to my house. So do you want to know what we're doing? Do you want to know what you're doing over Christmas?
I've been trying to find out I ask you every now and then. So yeah.
Every now and then.
What are you doing?
Keeping it a surprise.
Are they?
Nah.
Kim,
Indigo, you were talking about going to the zoo and seeing the lights and that sort of thing. And there's a similar event here in Saskatchewan, in the city near where we live. And it is this huge light display at our zoo, but you drive through it. So you don't have to freeze to death. And it is so amazing. It's so beautiful with all the snow that we have right now. So when Crystal's here, we're going to take her and hopefully my younger daughter, and we'll be able to go and see that in the evening. And that'll be really nice. Have you been through that? Have you been through no? Oh,
No.
it's gorgeous.
Oh,
You will. It is so beautiful.
It
Yeah.
is. Yes.
Friends of mine took me to the Festival of Trees.
Mm.
I just about freaked out really bad, but because I was with them, they were able to kind of help me, and it was worth getting from in the main part of the museum where all the trees line up out to the outside. Once we were outside, by the time we got outside, I was completely gone.
Yeah.
And my friend just led me to the car. Well, isn't it a good thing you're going to stay in the car the whole time you go through this little thing?
And
So
I
it's
think
just a
too,
drive.
like everybody is going through something, right?
Mhm.
Like you never know what the people around you are going through, and just having the knowledge that you're not alone.
Mhm.
And everybody here in the chat, people I have not yet said hi to is like Rebecca and Barbie and Living My Best Life at 50. I cannot recall your first name.
60.
Living My Best Life at 60, yes. I'm living my best life at 50, but living my best life at 60. Who else is Barbie? So Crystal and I both live in Canada. We're in Saskatchewan. Mama is Mary Lynn, and she lives in British Columbia, Canada. And Indigo is in Chicago, Illinois. So,
Yes. And I've got friends all over Canada. I've got friends outside of Quebec and Montreal, and my one friend who's in the middle of nowhere. That's all.
me.
He's like, no, literally, I'm in a cabin in the middle of nowhere in Canada. And I was like, okay, I believe you.
Okay. Oh, Echo. Nice to meet you, Echo. Okay.
Hi, Echo. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Echo.
But I was gonna say too, I think what sticks out to me is everybody talking about like it's some form of togetherness, right? Because even though they couldn't get a room in the inn or whatever, like they stayed together. Like Mary and Joseph stayed together, and all these pressures on our lives try to push us apart in one way or another. And I think don't focus so much on the people who aren't here. And I'm not even talking about dead people. Just like if there's people who aren't with you on your path right now, they're not supposed to be. And I firmly believe you are where you're needed. And it's not always easy, but I think that just the amount of connections I've made since getting to know Keela, it's crazy how many similarities that we have, and we're all in different generations.
Oh, yeah.
But we can say, I can relate to what people are saying. And I think that's the thing is, that's what the holidays do. They bring you together. Right?
The human experience is the human experience. And that is going to be the same humanity regardless where you are, right?
Yeah, and my parents raised me at least to be open-minded, and that they said, well, there's a lot of cultures in this world that we don't know anything about. Like, just, I'm from the US. I've always lived in the US. So if you're able to like have a human connection with somebody, that could make all the difference to whatever they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you know how many times do people say like, I feel alone in a crowded room,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
right? I had friends in college where I felt like they didn't know me, or I was trying to fit in with the wrong people. And that's the thing
Mhm.
is, once you figure out who you are, the right people will stay,
Amen.
right? Like if they don't stay, that's not your issue.
Mhm.
And I can be around people of different faiths. Like I say I'm just like mixed spiritual because I don't go to church and I don't do like the churchy traditions a lot. Like I will go sometimes because my sister's raising her kids and my nephew is my godson. So I do still kind of like relate passages of the Bible to my life and stuff. But it's like if you embrace people where they're at, it does so much good. And it's, to me, that's just how I am. I was raised that way. And my friends like, you don't understand what that does for people. I'm like, I really don't. You know what I mean? Because it's just who I am. But then when my friends
Mhm.
explain to me, no, like, let me break it down, like how blah, 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 blah. You know, and I'm like, the more that we facilitate an open environment where people can come in and interact and not have judgment. I think that's the other
Mhm.
thing is people want to judge how you put up your Christmas tree or um whatever.
Or if you put up a Christmas tree,
Or
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 yeah,
if
or
we do, yeah.
whatever. But I'm like,
yeah,
that's not what this holiday spirit is about, you
no,
know? So yeah.
yeah, and
Want a
Echo's right.
smile. A smile
Yeah,
is the holiday spirit. I think. I think everyone can be, and they pass on so
yeah,
easily, don't they? Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Echo's right. That's what I love about YouTube is getting to meet people from every walk of life.
There you go.
I have been so fortunate to be able to work with people literally from around the world. You know, um, they say there's six degrees of separation between any one person and Kevin Bacon, and that's what they say. I am now 2 degrees of separation away, believe it or not.
From who?
So, Kevin Bacon, he's a
Okay.
celebrity. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
I did a presentation along with a guy who actually spent some time with Kevin Bacon at Cannes in France.
Well, look at that.
2 degrees. So now you're all 3 degrees of separation. Just saying.
Or just the small stuff like my best friend in the whole world, we went to high school together, but we were never friends during high school, and then we lived together in our 20s and became family basically.
Yeah. One of my best friends in high school, she and I we were spending the weekend together, and she's like, "Oh, can I stay at your place whatever this weekend was?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. What's happening?" She goes, "Well, my parents are going to this small town in Saskatchewan to visit some family." I'm like, "Oh, I have family in that small town. Really? Well, yeah. What's your family's last name?" "It's this." "What's your family's last name?" "Same last name." Her great-grandfather and my great-grandfather were brothers. So
Wow.
I know. Yeah. So it's like, okay.
Isn't that wild?
I am like best friends with one of my cousins. It was just kind of wild. So yeah.
Who else is online? What are they saying? I missed this part of it.
Alfonso is talking about getting to know whether or not he should spend money on paying a musician to help him do some Christmas caroling. Most musicians want big bucks while he's doing it on a volunteer basis. Yeah. I would be careful. I don't know that I would hire somebody for it. I really don't. But that's me. I'm cheap. Also broke, but
And you
beyond that.
can also carry a tune, so you don't really need anyone to play.
Yeah. But Alfonso is also a musician, Mom. So, I mean, yeah. It's
Well, unless he plays the piano, he could bring his own music.
he does.
Oh, good. Well, then.
Yeah.
You got this, Alfonso.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited for what the future holds for this coming Christmas and then for future Christmases, just because of the connections that we've made here. Like Eka was saying, here on YouTube, my husband doesn't understand the whole idea of literally being friends with somebody who's online. You know, forget the fact that my daughter is in love with a guy that she met online and she hadn't actually physically been in the same room with him for more than a year into their dating. I mean, like, just the world is different. The world is different.
Yep.
Online
Alfonso
friendships have been here for a long time, though. I
they
mean,
have. Yeah.
I was I was lying online and saying I was 13 when I wasn't. So I'm very lucky that nothing bad happened. But I mean, I've made some lifelong friends, and it's a tool. Like, right? Because
Oh,
the
wow.
older you get, the less likely you are to accidentally run into anyone. Like when
Yes.
you're in school, you have clubs, you have classes like assigned to you where you meet the same people every day for an hour at least.
Mhm.
You know, even when you go to college, your classes are scheduled and if you're physically there anyway, you're on a campus interacting with the same sea of people
Mhm.
in and out, whatever. But it's like once you graduate and you get a job, it's like, okay, well, when do I have time to organically run into anyone?
That's right.
I have to plan to even talk to people I've known for 15 years because our work schedules don't coincide. So
Exactly. I love this. Barbie says this. My niece by marriage met a nice guy and was telling us all about him. Turns out he's my sister's nephew by marriage.
Oh my.
I sat on the bride's family side. My sister sat on the groom's side at their wedding, so on and so forth. That is hilarious.
that's really funny.
Love it.
Oh my gosh.
Love it. Anyway,
Sometimes the only time I run into friends from around here is when they come shopping.
That's right. Absolutely.
And with my schedule being what it is, most of the people that I classify as friends that would come into the store will come in the afternoon. I'm done by noon now.
That's right. Yep. Well, my friends, thank you for this discussion. I think it has been cathartic. I hope we've given a lot of wisdom and insight and tools, I think, to help other people move through their Christmas time in the sometimes difficult scene that it can be. So thank you very much for taking your time this evening to be with me. I really appreciate that. Thank you, chat, for coming and spending time and commenting and chatting. I cannot tell you how much it just gives me joy. So if I know that I have a lot more views than I have subscribers. So if you are viewing and you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. I would love to have you here on a regular basis. If you hit the bell for all notifications, that means they won't unsubscribe you just randomly, which sometimes YouTube does. But this coming week on the 17th, my sister, Glynis, is going to be talking about the 9 A's of a relationship. So that's
I'm the last to know.
She is a beautiful person.
Isn't she?
Isn't she?
She is
amazing.
Yeah. So Glynis is going to be on the 17th, and we're going to be talking about the 9 A's of a relationship. And that is going to be fascinating. And then on the 19th of December, we're going to have part 2 of our healing panel. So everybody who was on our healing panel, and I think maybe plus a couple other people, there might be some different faces, but we're going to continue talking about what healing looks like, both physically, spiritually, emotionally. I think most of what we spoke about last time was emotionally and spiritually. So that is perfectly good too. So we're going to continue that on the 19th. So everybody, I will see you again. Thank
Tomorrow.
you again for coming.
Bye, everybody.
Is it 4
Bye, everyone.
6 o'clock? 6 o'clock on the 17th?
Every time at 6 o'clock Central
Okay.
Standard Time.
Got it.
Yeah. So
Thank
for
you.
you, it'll be 4 o'clock. Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Kimmy.
See you, Mama.